The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up? It is time for Cowboys Storyline, Monday, November the 20th. Cowboys coming off a 33-10 win against the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte, and now they can turn their attention to three-game homestand starting Thursday, Thanksgiving against Washington, at Seattle after that, and then, of course, Philly. But Cowboys, this is kind of what we thought they would be. They had two straight wins now, 7-3. I've said they'd get to 10-3, so you can't get to 10-3 unless you get to 7-3. 7-3, three home games to go, and we can talk about all the stuff that happened yesterday in Carolina from the start when they made the announcement that Jimmy Johnson was going to go into the Ring of Honor, to the game, to anything else that you want to talk about. So, all right, 888-855-2297. That is the number. You can send text message as well when that goes up on the screen. But when we'll start it off. We'll start with let's go to the phone line. Start off with Aaron. Aaron in Los Angeles. He's a first time caller. Aaron, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Good morning. I'm really grateful to talk to you.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. It's early over there.
What's that?
It's early over there.
Yeah, well, you got to get up early if you want to get on and talk to you.
The Storyline. That's right. What's up, man?
So, I've been listening for 20-plus years, and this is the first time I've called in to talk to you guys. I really dug the dynamic between you and Derek, going back to the original days. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things real quick. One, I think that I hope that we've slayed our curse of the Bambino, curse of the Billy Goat, whatever it was, by getting Jimmy in the Ring of Honor finally. I'm glad they got over that, and hopefully that was the one thing that gets us past that wall. So
yeah, well, I don't subscribe to that theory because they did win a Super Bowl afterwards, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but it was still Jimmy's team.
Well, I disagree, but that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What's cool now is that Jimmy is able to go in. It's really important to him. It sounds like it's very important to his family, and I'm glad that whatever the issues were, I'm glad that they've moved past that to the point where they can put him in the Ring of Honor this year. So that's great.
Yeah, totally agree. And then I just had a couple of comments real quick. One, I think that McCarthy and Dak are doing a great job of taking what the defense has given them. I think that people get kind of like caught up in, they're not running the ball well. Dak is not, doing this or doing that. Pollard isn't doing this or that. But I think at the end of the day, I think that what they're doing is they're really taking what's given to them. The offensive line is playing well of late. Now that they've had a little time to be together, and the defense and especially Deron Bland are doing a wonderful job. And then just one last thing, my favorite Cowboy of all time is Bill Bates.
Nice. Love it. All right. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate that. Bill Bates is a favorite for a lot of people, and he was for me as well when I was a young kid. We loved Bill Bates just because he's a guy that he didn't look like necessarily an NFL player all the time, but he was tough as nails and really changed the way I think the NFL viewed special teams. So, all right, let's keep it rolling here. Joe in Stamford, Texas. Stamford, what? Right there by Abilene. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, my friend. Another good Monday, winning Monday. A well-rounded win for the Cowboys against a team we should win and we should beat like that.
Exactly.
I'm excited for the win. I enjoy wins where I can relax.
Yep.
Like we were talking about last week. It's sure nice to not have my dog feel like I'm about to kill him. My poor dog. When on these close games, he just really hates me.
He gets scared.
Yeah, he gets really scared, man, and I hate that for him, but I can't help it. So, a couple things. We don't talk near enough about Marquise Bell, in my opinion. 10 tackles yesterday. I think he was the one thing in the run defense that looked pretty solid. Frankly, our run D is still concerning to me. I think that if Carolina can enforce its will and run the ball when it wants to, then I'm a little worried about some better teams. Not that I'm trying to take away from the win, but generally speaking with these kind of games, I'm really looking at what we can improve on. One thing that did improve, and I'm really happy about it, and I will admit, I think I was probably a little bit wrong about Pollard. He looked a lot better this week, and I'm glad about that. One other thing I wanted to talk about before I got off the line. We criticized Mike McCarthy a lot for dumb things, and I try not to do that. But that challenge during the game, I don't know what the heck he was doing there. So if you're going to go ahead and give up the timeout, go ahead and challenge. I mean, he didn't want it. He was trying to say, "Oh no, I didn't mean to do that." Well, not only did we take away the fact that we took him to second down, but we also gave up a timeout, and then we didn't even challenge the play.
Yeah. I don't think it was worth challenging at that point. You got to remember that coaches don't see what you see. Like what you're seeing is you're seeing, like Fox is showing the play and all that, but the coach doesn't see it the same way. He's trying to rely on someone else is trying to figure out, do we challenge this or not while they're running up to the line of scrimmage. I think he was trying to challenge it, or he dropped it down. By that time, I think they saw enough replays and they're like, all right, you already dropped it, but he's going to catch it. So, I mean,
at least challenge it. At least. This is my opinion. If nothing else, you get a little bit of time to look at your play sheet.
Yeah.
I just think it's. If you're going to give up the timeout, let's at least have the time for the timeout.
Boy, I don't think he wanted to lose the challenge. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He didn't want to lose. See, you don't lose the challenge.
Okay. So I didn't understand that. So
no, you don't.
Actually doesn't lose the challenge.
That's my understanding. Is he did not lose the challenge. So that's why he didn't choose the challenge.
Okay.
You still have two challenges.
Okay. My bad. That makes sense then. All right. Well, have a great day, brother.
All right. See you later. Joe in Stanford. That was Joe. Now we're moving to Florida. Dylan, Northport, Florida. What's up, man?
Hey, Nick. How's it going, dude?
Good. How are you? How was the trip? Good. Didn't you go on the trip?
Yeah, man. Went to Disney. Mickey Mouse Land.
Survived.
It was a blast.
You survived. You know what? So did I. I felt like I did as well. I felt like I went to Disney, kind of a Mickey Mouse situation we had in Carolina. I felt like that myself a little bit. Screaming
with
kids,
Jimmy?
Things like that. Yeah. Kind of felt like I went to Disney too without some of the rides. What's up, man?
Yeah. No, it was cool to see. No, man. The last guy there was talking about his dog catching a break there. My dog didn't, man. When Bland got that pick six, my dog had to run into her room. She was so scared. I was screaming my head off. I was stoked on that one. I called it a week too early. I said he was going to get it the week before, but got it this week.
It feels like an easy call now. You know what I mean? We did a thing called Pod Picks the other day. Who's going to score the first defensive touchdown? I was like, really? 12, 13 people picked Bland? Well, yeah. Why not? And who else? This guy's unbelievable. He's scoring all these touchdowns. Obviously we've never seen it before because it hasn't happened in 30 years since Eric Allen had four interceptions for touchdowns in one season. That's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, and it's not like he's like just catching tip balls and stuff. Like he's diving in front of dudes and like doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So this dude's crazy. And I kind of wanted to stick on that topic. I'll keep it kind of short and simple today. We got 2 All-Pro, I guess 3 All-Pro. I'm assuming Bland's going to be an All-Pro, but we got Gilly, of course. But the work that I think Al Harris has done with Diggs and Bland. I think he's done a great job. I don't know how to measure that, but I'm hoping maybe you can kind of give us some insight on the impact that he's made on some of these young guys.
It's hard to measure that. It's hard to measure what assistant coaches do, and are the guys just really good, or do they, did they catch lightning in a bottle by drafting him in the 5th round? But they've developed him, and you're right. Diggs is another person that's developed. I think. It's not at every position, but I think sometimes at corner's a little bit different, because you got to have a terrible memory. You got to stay focused on every play. You're going up against the best athletes in the world. And I think the fact that Al Harris played the position and also played it at a level where he didn't give a crap. He really did. Like he played with that kind of mental edge that I think that he coaches that way as well. Again, I'm not in the meeting rooms, and I know, and I don't want to discredit any other position coach that didn't play the position. But I do think in this particular case, the fact that Al Harris played it and played it at a high level and played it with tenacity that you need, I think it's really it pays off to the other guys.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about the mentality these guys have to have, and you see a lot of DBs talking, trash and like having to amp themselves up. Dude, Diggs and Bland are like the quietest guys ever, and I just love that they go out and just play. That's my favorite thing about them.
Diggs is quiet until you put him on Twitter.
Well,
and sometimes he can get loud there too, especially if he's talking about his brother. All right, anything else?
No, man, that's it.
Right.
Thanks.
See you later. All right, Dylan, Northport, Florida. Appreciate that. We're going to move to Arkansas. Kurt in Arkansas. What's up?
Hey, Nick. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm with Aaron. I believe I forgot. I'm drawing a blank.
Bland. Deron Bland. Diggs.
Well, yeah, I believe Bland.
Al Harris.
Mark it down. I believe Bland will have 10 interceptions and 6 pick sixes by the end of the year.
It's just incredible. It's just incredible to think that. I mean, Everson Walls, it was, what do you have, like 50 interceptions? Or I think, he never had a pick six. Yeah. I think he might have, and he did in the preseason, but in a regular season game, I don't think Everson Walls has ever scored a touchdown at least for the Cowboys. He may have done it with another team, but not with the Cowboys. But this guy's got 4 and 1 in half a season.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's still 7 more games left. That's why I said 10 interceptions and 6 pick sixes.
Yeah. Well, that would be awesome. You got another question? I'll have another point to that, but I just want to make sure you have another question.
Oh, well, I'm drawing a blank on that linebacker / special teams player back in the 90s. Aaron mentioned him a minute ago on the phone.
Bill Bates?
Yeah. Bill Bates is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He was a bad boy.
Yeah, he was awesome. Just didn't care about his body.
Right.
Yeah.
He'd go down there and take somebody's head off.
Right. Right. Well.
All right.
Appreciate that. A lot of Bill Bates love today.
Mark it down. My prediction for Bland.
10 interceptions and 6 pick sixes.
Right.
All right. Is that even going on a limb? Seriously. He's got 6. And I don't know about 6 pick sixes because it's just so lucky. He may have 4 pick sixes. He has 4 in his career. He may have 4 for the next 2 years. It's just kind of the way it goes, but he is definitely a playmaker. He's making some really, really great plays on the ball. And the interesting part is that when Trayvon Diggs got hurt, I thought, and a lot of us did, this is unfortunate for Stephon Gilmore. He's supposed to come in here and be the number 2 to Diggs. He'd come in here and not necessarily be the 1, but be the 2. And the cool part is I think he is still the 2. That's the development that Deron Bland has. And I tell you this, there's a scout that stopped me in training camp, and he told me Deron Bland is the best cornerback on this team by far. He does everything better than the other guys. And I'm like, you mean with Diggs? With Diggs. I'm like, wow, really? He's like, I'm just telling you, he does everything the way we want him to, and all around, this guy said, I think Bland is our best corner. So I was like, well, that's good to know. He'll be. That's good to have your third corner that way. Well, he's not anymore the third corner, and this is going to be a lot of fun when Trayvon does come back next year, and then to have these 2 corners like that, really, really awesome. All right, let's keep it rolling here. The phone line, we do have a phone line open, though, 888-855-2297. You can text at 817-290-3298. All right, let's go to Rob in Vegas. Rob, what is up?
Hey, Nick.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm what's the level like? Are we all right? Was it good win, bad win? What?
No, every win is a good win.
Yeah.
I didn't like the play calling in the first half. I thought they were using this game as a practice game. I didn't like let's stop taking Dak Prescott off the field. He's your best player. And I don't like swinging him out the wide receiver. I thought that was dumb. I think it lost like 10 yards every time they tried to do that with a Rico Daddle under center.
Didn't like that
and
either.
we talked last week. We knew Micah Parsons was going to go off, which was great. That energy drink didn't agree with him, but it worked because he was flying all over the field.
I asked him in the press conference afterwards. He said, "I'll never do that again." And I said, "Wait a second. You had 3 sacks or 2.5."
Right. I remember Emmitt Smith did the same thing one time.
Right. And I go, "You sure you're not going to do it again?" And he said, "Maybe half a scoop."
I was going to say.
Whatever. Whatever works.
Yeah. I thought it was, listen, the game, when we were only up by a touchdown, I looked at my wife and says, "This reminds me of Arizona." And then I said, "This drive is important." When they cut it to 7, and then they marched, and then it was
Ferguson.
And then the
pass
Ron Bland is just phenomenal.
He sure is.
The guy, you would talk. You know how you ask the players, the fans, and like an obscure player.
Yeah.
You should do a special on Sam Pablo Escobar Hurd. That would be some. I was just watching the Buffalo Monday night game. I don't know how it came on with Tony Romo Torto's picture when Sam Hurd basically hit the ball to get the recovery
onside kick.
And I said, "Oh, that's that guy. That's Sam Pablo Escobar." That would be
Never called him that.
That would be something.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's been discussed. So there's no doubt about it. We're working on our 10th year here of Deep Blue documentaries, and his name has come up a couple of times. I think he's now out of prison. So, I don't know that.
And Nick, I want to say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wish you and your family happy Thanksgiving.
You. Appreciate that. Thank you, Rob. Same to you. Appreciate that. This is my favorite. This is definitely my favorite time of year, my favorite holiday. I love Thanksgiving. I love being able to, and not that you don't want to be with your family, but I love being at the game on Thanksgiving. It's my favorite game of the season. I just feel like, because I know what a tradition it is for families, that everyone has a tradition. I used to as well. I can remember Tony Dorsett running for touchdowns against the St. Louis Cardinals back in like 85 and 83. And I was with my grandparents. I remember watching those games, and I remember we would eat, right before kickoff or whatever. And I just love that everyone has a tradition like that. But you can't do that if you don't have the game. And somebody has to work the game. Somebody has to play the game. People have to work the game. You gotta have security working the game. Security is so important in stadiums. So you gotta have all those things, and it's just fun to be a part of it. So, but thank you for the call, Rob, and for saying that. And he had a point. Oh, we were talking about that. Yeah, I didn't like that play either with Dak split out to the right there, because to me, like, when you have receivers out there that are actually threats, that changes a little bit of the defense. And Dak can run as well. It's not like Dak can't run. So having both those guys there and knowing, okay, they're not going to throw it to Dak. You're just not going to do that. I just think it's a wasted play, and I think it's unnecessary. I think you do have a quarterback that can run. You have a quarterback that can throw, and you have receivers that are off the chart. So who are we fooling? Wasn't the Panthers. They certainly weren't fooled on that. All right, let's go to Clay in Liberty Hill, Texas. First time caller. Clay, what's up, man?
Hey.
First time.
Yes, sir. Definitely agree. Wildcat is the worst play in football. Hate it.
That's not the worst play for some teams, but when you have a quarterback that already sort of does this, then I don't see the point. If you have a quarterback that's more of a statue and you want to move him out there and trick it up, I guess, because it has worked. It's not like it hasn't worked, but I don't think for all teams, and I don't think it works when you have Dak. I mean, Dak sort of
very inconsistent.
He sort of is the Wildcat. I mean, think about when he was at Mississippi State. Think about when he's running. He sort of does that. So why split him out there? I'd rather have Gallup out there. All right.
Yep.
Sorry.
A couple quick things. First of all, my big what if is I really wanted to see what would have happened if Romo would have gotten the chance to get the team back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dak was playing great, but, rookie Dak versus the veteran Romo, I really wish we could have seen what would have happened with that team.
Yeah,
I think in the long run it probably worked out. I mean,
right.
Dak's great, but
it just
short term, I really wish we could have seen that.
But the problem with that, there was never a time. It really wasn't. It was never
totally agree.
a time. And I always say this, there's one play that changed all of that, and it's a tackle by Sean Lee. Sean Lee made a tackle on Darren Sproles for a 5-yard loss, and that play right there is the reason why Romo never got his job back, because of Sean Lee. If we want to talk about it later, we can. But I'm just saying, there's a little domino effect there that happened in that Philadelphia game because Sean Lee made a great play. Cowboys ended up winning that game because Dak finally, light bulb went on. Boom, they score. They tie the game. Overtime, they go win the game. Now he's 5-1. He's not taking them out. They go beat Pittsburgh. He's 7 or 8-1. Definitely not coming out, and he never gets his job back. But that's the thing. It just never was a good time. Do I think that Tony Romo would have played better in that playoff game than Dak against the Packers? Yes, I do. I do think that. I think that Romo would have played better than him in that first game. But you can't. I mean, he's rookie of the year. You can't bench him. I mean, it just never was a good time to do that. And but that's. I mean, Dak played well in the second half of that game, but they did get down early. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, that's just sometimes timing is everything.
Yep. And then my second thing is, we go to the games every once in a while, and I think the team up in the booth, doing the announcing and the video board do a great job on defense of getting the crowd to be, loud and obnoxious and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But on offense, I feel like every time we're on offense and it's like a big play, everyone just starts cheering. It's like, go Dak and go Cowboys. It's like, shut up, people. Like, this is when you're supposed to be quiet. And
Derek,
I've always wondered why you can't put be quiet on the board.
This seems like Derek because I sit next to him, and one way to piss him off is if the fans start doing the wave when they're on offense or they start cheering. He gets so mad.
Yes, it always irritates the hell out of me.
I know. It doesn't bother me as much. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and yeah, you'd hate for them to go nuts and have to get them to quiet down, but it's just such a big place. There's just noise. I mean, it's just everything. I mean, the defense. They're calling out plays too when it's 3rd and 9, and they're at home and the crowd's going nuts. I mean, they're trying to call their own defense as well too. So I just think as a football player, I think they know how to kind of deal with it. They deal with it on the road. They deal with it at home. It's noise. It's kind of like baseball. Like full count in the 9th. Crowd's going nuts. I mean, it's like it happens for the hitter, happens for the pitcher. I mean, who are we? I just think it's excitement, and I don't know if it really affects them that much. But
fair enough.
It doesn't bother me as much just because I think 90,000 people. I mean, it's hard to keep 2 or 3 people in the back seat quiet, much less 93,000. It ain't happening, but. That just doesn't bother me as much. That's okay. All right.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thank you for the call there. All right, let's move to – we got Travis on the line?
We do.
Travis, what's up, man?
Happy Victory Monday to you.
Definitely. You too.
I was close on the score. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of hoping I was going to hit it on the head, but 38-13, 33-10,
it's there.
Close enough.
You were in the neighborhood. Yep. I kind of – Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people were, sort of. I think I was something like that, too, 34-16, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So what's up?
Couple quick things. Just I was happy for, again, I'm the Michigan guy. I'm happy for Luke Schoonmaker. He made that catch.
Yep.
I was glad that Dak went back to him because, honestly, even though I'm a Michigan guy, he kind of had a couple of drops where he wasn't playing as well, and, I mean, you could have justified not giving him that throw, but I was happy that he gave him the chance, and I think that helps build some chemistry between those two going forward, some trust, which is big. So that was great to see. And then I included you in the tweet, the Bland tweet for Defensive Player of the Year as far as Gilmore's stats. I think he's 11 tackles behind him and 8 passes defended, and he literally has a better season. Not saying that stamps it, but if he's not in the conversation, then I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, And then last thing is, and I'll let you go, is I've never been, so I'm from Michigan, born and raised there. So I think you had a couple callers on last week. Like, I'm not going to go through my whole thing, but, like, I've been, anytime I was in that state growing up, people are like, why are you a Cowboys fan? Which just made me want to be a Cowboys fan even more. Because I got to watch, I'm 37, so I got to watch the 95 Super Bowl. So I'm kind of in that sweet spot age-wise.
Right.
So I've been a Cowboys fan for a long time. I live in Texas. I've been here for like 6 years now. Never been to a game yet, but I have a friend that I served in the military with that's stationed here now, and his wife bought him 2 tickets for the Lions game.
Oh,
and he's a Lions fan. I grew up with him, one of my best friends. He reached out and said, do you want to go to the game? I said, heck yeah. So I said, I'll take you guys to dinner. We'll go to the game. She's going to stay in the hotel. We're going to go to the game. And that was before. I didn't think they'd ever put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. And now I got to text him and say, like, I'm actually going to be there to see the halftime show. So, it couldn't be any better. And I just wanted to.
Well, let me ask you, Travis.
Yep.
Would you rather not go to the game and watch Jimmy Johnson get in and they play the Lions, or Ohio State wins this weekend? What would you rather pick? You have to only get one. You get to go to the game or Ohio State wins.
That's terrible. That is honestly terrible. I would probably, and I don't know if this is going to, like, because I know you're a big Arkansas, like, I would probably say, since I haven't been to one yet, I'll probably go to another one. Like, man, it's tough.
I know. It's such a big game.
Ohio State season.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Michigan being Ohio State, but hopefully I get to see both.
Right.
You never know.
Right. So we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully
I appreciate that tough question, though.
Yeah. Well, it's just all about, does Michigan have the right signs and things like that, to for the game. I bet you're tired of hearing that. Cool. It's all right. They just keep winning, so that's all good. All right. Thank you for the call.
Have a great one.
You too. All right, Travis, San Antonio, big Michigan fan. Schoonmaker with the touchdown. Mozzie Smith playing a little bit more and more, so doing good there. All right, we'll go one more caller before we go to break. Eric in North Carolina. Eric.
What's up, Nick?
You did not go to the game, right?
I did not go to the game. I had to work, unfortunately. And plus, the tickets was ridiculous.
They were
so I didn't mess with it, man.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous with those ticket prices.
Obviously, Carolina fans and season ticket holders sold their tickets, a lot of them, to the Cowboy fans, and they probably at a high dollar. There was a lot of Cowboy fans there for sure.
They did. They sold their tickets and tailgated. I had a lot of friends that actually did that. So
yeah.
I just stayed home, chilled out, watched the game at the house with my dog and my kids, and we did that. So it was a good time. I cooked burgers and everything. It was perfect. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
I just want to say this, Nick. The Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Really?
The curse has been lifted. I'm so ecstatic that Jimmy Johnson will now be a part of the Ring of Honor. All I needed for Darren Wilson and Nate Newton to hit the Hall of Fame, and I'll die happy. But I just like the fact that Jerry did it the way he did it. He addressed it. He said we made some mistakes here and there, whatever. And he's confronting and righting his wrong. And the curse has been lifted because of that. I feel like we're going to the Super Bowl, man.
All right.
Don't call me crazy, man. I just think the curse has been lifted, and we are on our way. The way this team played yesterday was great. Only one thing I take away from it as a negative is the running game. We got gassed a little bit, just a little bit. Nothing to be crazy about, but it's still a concern of mine, slightly, just defending the run and just keeping that intact because some of the teams we're about to play is going to be very important to do that.
Right.
But other than that, man, happy for Cowboy victory and happy Thanksgiving to you, Chris, you, Nick, you and you guys' family. And, I wish you nothing but peace and blessings for this holiday season on you guys. Cowboys for life, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate the call. All right. Well, let's we'll take a break. We'll take a break here on Cowboys Storyline. Be right back. We got some calls and some text messages. Be right back.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't-stop-banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Welcome back here to Cowboys Storyline. We got 20 more minutes to go here in the show. We're going to keep going to the phone lines. You can call us, 888-855-2297. We're kind of moving along here. We've got 8 callers in, about to get the 9th one. We're going to go to the line. Monty in North Dakota. What's up, Monty?
Hey, Nick. It's a pleasure to finally be on this line.
First time?
Yep, this is my first time.
Nice.
And I just wanted to say I'm not the biggest NDSU fan, but I am a
I have a rule. Hold on, I have a rule, though, real quick for first-time callers. You cannot call and talk about Hunter Lipke. Okay, that's just the rule. So were you going to – I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what. On when Tony Pollard made that touchdown run,
yeah.
I saw Hunter, fullback, and I saw Hunter go out, get the linebacker, and Tony ran past, and the linebacker just barely could even touch him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was Hunter Lipke. If there wasn't for him getting that linebacker, I don't think Pollard would have got the touchdown. And I wanted to say, good going, Hunter. I saw that block.
Yeah. No, he's doing a nice job. I mean, it's his first year. They keep putting stuff on his plate. He keeps doing well. He's blocking. He runs it a little bit. They'll throw it to him, but he's playing on special teams. I mean, he's for a rookie from North Dakota State in his first season here. He's done a very, very good job, and I think they'll just kind of keep adding things to him as it continues to go on.
Well, I actually when that play started and the way Hunter was lined up, and I just kept thinking, I wonder if this is going to be the time where they're actually going to hand it off to Hunter. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen, but he went and got that linebacker, and I was like, this is what I want to see. I just want to say it was I like it when the Cowboys are ahead 50-0, and I don't have to sweat. And but their run defense needs to step it up. I didn't like the way they were running through.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that scares me is Philadelphia. You get San Francisco, Detroit. I mean, if Carolina can run like that, I just hope that they can do something and shore it up a little bit better.
Well, I hear you, and I understand, and thanks for the call, Monty. Appreciate that, first-time caller. We always like that, but it's just different. It's a different defense when you're going up against. You have different attacks. Okay, I mean Bryce Young, he's not ready right now. He's not ready to hurt NFL teams. He holds the ball a little too long. He just doesn't have that feel yet, and he also doesn't have a lot of weapons around him. They ran the football. But that was their mentality. That's really all that they can do. And think about it. This is a team that the Cowboys are throwing the ball around the way they've been playing with CD and Dak and all that. And that was the mindset for Carolina. Stay on the field on offense. Get that defense off the field. So there was a lot of running, a lot of blocking for that. And they had some success, but really when you got down to it, they couldn't. They couldn't run down in there. They had to throw it into the end zone. That touchdown that made it 17-10, I remember thinking, yeah, it's a one-score game, but, like, they're not doing this again. How many fourth downs? How many times did they – I mean, that was a 17-play drive that if it's not for a penalty on Sam Williams, like on the punt, this game is probably not even close at all in the third quarter. So I just thought – yes, they ran the ball well, but I don't think you can just say, well, if they run the ball well, these teams are going to do it. It's a completely different thing. You got other things to worry about, obviously, with the Eagles and 49ers and stuff like that, but I wouldn't just go off of this because Carolina is very, very shorthanded. All right, Miami, Florida. That's where we got Anthony. Anthony's in Miami. What's up?
Nick the Quick. What's up?
What's up, man? Haven't heard that in a while since you know what? I don't have a lot of jerseys, but I did have a Nick Van Exel jersey back in the day, Nick the Quick. I liked him, man. I liked Nick Van Exel. He was cool.
The silky lefty. They call him the silky lefty.
Yeah, always looked like he was asleep. Oh, yeah. But he could.
We'll get you for 35.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
He played for the Mavericks for a little bit. I like that. Nick the Quick. What's up, man?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Okay, comment on Jerry and Jimmy, and then a wrestling little scenario for you.
Right.
Okay, my favorite 4 wrestlers of all time. I challenge you, the fans, in a fatal 4-way with my favorite now, not the best, my favorite. They are Ric Flair, Nature Boy, my number 1, all time. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Stone Cold and / Stunning. Because you got to know him when he was stunning Steve Austin with the robes and the long white hair.
Okay.
If you're a real fan.
Okay.
And The Rock, baby.
The Rock.
Can you smell? I challenge anybody you can have Taker, you can have all of them. Shawn Michaels, come up against them folk, baby. Anyway, Jerry and Jimmy. I'm sitting here. I'm home. Work the night. I told you I got all these crazy schedules. So I'm watching all this Fox stuff. Because I don't watch these TV shows. There's too much hate. So I'm watching Fox and the game. And, man, it's, being a diehard, and I mean capital D, hard, Cowboy and University of Miami Hurricane, this is one of the best, and that night will we be one of the best. I don't care how long it took. If Jimmy was mad and Jimmy said, no, screw you, Jerry, I don't want it, then I'd probably be mad. But nobody should be mad. If they up there hugging, laughing, talking about every time they talk together, every time, it's nothing but good times. Whether you believe it or not, they said it out their mouths, both of them. So I'm so happy. I don't want to talk about the game, man. Just enjoy it. That wasn't, we got like forward thinking. Let's move forward. We got Thursday. So happy Thanksgiving to you and the fans out there, man. And I'll talk to you next week, bro.
All right. Sounds good. A lot of good stuff there from Anthony. Yeah, it doesn't really matter about the past. It doesn't matter. None of that. At this point, what it is, and obviously there was something. We've all been there. If you've been around here for a long time, as long as I have, you kind of know that there's there's been some sensitivity there when it comes to that and who gets the credit and all that. But why can't it be both? That's the way I look at it. Why can't it be both? If they win right now. If they win the Super Bowl, Jerry will get credit, Steven will get credit, Will McCarthy, they all will get credit, So it never really goes to who gets it and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that's not even a thing anymore. It really, really is. And when I said earlier, I said this earlier about, well, it's not Jimmy's team. Somebody had said, they won in 95. It was really Jimmy's team. But it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a lot of the players that they drafted together, Jerry and Jimmy. But I don't like to call it Jimmy's team because it wasn't. Because if it was Jimmy's team in 95, was it Jimmy's team in 94 that lost? Because no fan says that. No fan says, well, that was Jimmy's team. It was Barry's team because they lost. But then in 95 when they won, it was Jimmy's team. Like, I get it. The players, the base foundation was there. But they, they had to come together in '95 and figure out how to win that. So, I don't give Jimmy more than 2 Super Bowl rings. I mean, that's what it is. He got the 2 and he left, and and then after that, those weren't his teams. Even though a lot of the things that they had built and they carried over, I get that. All right, Darian in Houston, Texas is our next caller. Darian, what's up?
Hey, good morning, Nick. How's it going, man?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, man. Man, from this past game yesterday, I'm not really worried about anything from this weekend. We went over there, won on the road, and we got out healthy.
Right.
You take that running into the kicker penalty away from Sam Williams. I think that game is a totally different thing, and we're talking about our run defense a little bit differently.
Right.
But also, all the Panthers could do was run the ball. I mean, Bryce Young was getting attacked all game. But we are in my favorite / least favorite stretch of the season, the 3 games in 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
We get spoiled as fans. We get to see them play prime time and all of that fun stuff, too. So my first question is, do you have, like, a favorite, quote-unquote, Thanksgiving stretch, if you have one? Mine is from the 2016 season. It was the last 3 games from that 11-win streak, and the Thursday night game after Thanksgiving is always a weird one. I feel like that primetime game just kind of just sits weird, but we beat Minnesota in Minnesota, and that was fun. And then me and my brother, we make the joke, and I don't know if anyone's called. I'm sure they have. I haven't been listening to the show, but talking about the curse finally being lifted. I know we get superstitious as fans, but I kind of wanted to hear your take on adding Jimmy to the. And if you already answered, I'll go back and listen.
No, I mean it's been mentioned. I mean a little bit. I mean I don't agree with it necessarily. I don't think this is the curse. I've never thought of it that way. I don't think like that. But this is the reason why is because Jimmy didn't wasn't in the Ring of Honor and all that. I don't necessarily think that way. Again, for the reasons I just said about how they won Super Bowl afterwards, and so I just don't. Now we're getting into the technicalities and all that, and then it's hard to put a curse on that. I mean, they haven't won the Super Bowl because they haven't been good enough. That's just they haven't been good enough. They've had talent. They have had enough talent. They've had to win, but the combination of talent and luck and good fortune and the ball bouncing the right way and the right decision making at the right time and just having the mental fortitude to go out and win the game when the game is on the line in the playoffs. They just haven't done that. But I don't think it's because of there is a 2 names up there in the Ring of Honor. I'm sorry. I just don't think like that. There's people that believe in that kind of stuff. Maybe I should look at my horoscope more or whatever. I don't think that the fact that Jimmy Johnson's name hasn't been in the Ring of Honor is the reason why they haven't won. If y'all think that way, that's fine. I don't. That's okay. Bruce in Houston. Bruce, we'll stay in Houston. What's up, man? We got Darian, now we got Bruce. What's going on?
Hey, not much. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show. I think Ron Bland is a Pro Bowler right now, even if he doesn't get another interception. I think you spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, but, man, just the awareness of that. Just, heck, the play was incredible.
It was a great play.
Catch. It really was. It looks awesome for him next year. I don't know if you still want to keep him at the slot or, well, he's playing outside now, but move him back to the slot or leave him on the corner, but depends on what they do with their draft pick.
Yeah.
But, man, he's playing good. And I understand some of the fans. I'm a little frustrated with the running, too, but, man, a couple of those long gashes, one of them, I think it was Williams, 54, almost had him for a 4-yard loss, and he just made a great move and then busted it. And I think Micah, when he plays that middle linebacker spot, he overran a couple of plays. It's because of their. Them boys want sacks so bad that they blow past the run, and I think they're going to be okay. Look, if we get through these next 2 games, statistically we should be 9-3 when we play Philly. But Washington got beat bad by New York, so they're always play us tough. It seems like, and Seattle's tough as well. But if we take care of home business, we should do that. And if that other fan, we're going to the Super Bowl. Look, I want them too. I've seen them all, the Super Bowls, and I hope the curse is lifted. But if we just make it to the championship game, I'd be happy with that.
Right.
And I want to win. Don't get me wrong, but And congratulations to Jimmy and Jerry for setting aside that stuff. It's going to make a wonderful game for that Detroit game. But I think our running game is going to go good. And that was a good test yesterday.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a blowout, but I don't think it was ever in question. It got close, but, you need those games. And these two next games, in my opinion, are going to prepare us even better to play Philadelphia because they got that game circled. And it's going to – all I can say is go Chiefs, right, tonight?
Right. Right.
All right, Nick. Have
Should
a good
be
one,
fun.
buddy.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there. I'm not worried about the running game as well. The run defense, but those guys have to try to figure out a way to stay disciplined. I mean, it's just they just care so much about the sacks, and the sacks are great. But I mean, even in the locker room afterwards, Mike is talking about they took the half sack from him from 3 to 2.5, and he's gonna look into that and see if I think it was Jaron Curse maybe that got the half sack. I couldn't hear what he's saying, but it was somebody else that got a half sack there. But how many sacks do they not? I mean, how many running yards do they give up because they're just trying to get that? So there's got to be this balance of them staying home and staying disciplined in their gaps and stopping the run. I get it. The whole thing comes down to sacks, but when you're trying to get that and a 27-yard run goes right by you, what good is that? So, anyways, that's something that's always been there, though. That's happened. That was in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, these guys that would care more about sacks and not necessarily stay home like they need to. All right, let's go to California for Orlando. So we got Orlando in California.
Hello.
You there, Orlando?
Yes, sir. Happy Victory Monday.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you? I'm just at work.
All right. Does the boss know you're calling?
Maybe he will when the camera's right here, right behind me. But
hey,
what are you gonna do?
Right. It's Victory Monday. What's up? Hey, boss.
Just wanted to wish everybody at the station and everybody listening happy Thanksgiving. Can't wait to win that game. And I'm ready for the Eagles game.
All right.
I want everything to fly by.
Well, we got to first things first. We got to get to Washington.
Game at a time.
Yeah, right. Got to get
game at a time.
Yep. As soon as you start getting to Philly is where Washington comes in and sneaks up on them. You can't let that happen. So I think the Cowboys learned their lesson. They didn't let Carolina sneak up on them. I think they'll do the same with Washington.
I agree.
What else? You got anything else?
I just want to give a big shout out to SCDCFC. It's the Southern California Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
All right. Wow. What is that again? Say it again. what?
SCDCFC, Southern California Dallas Cowboys Football Club. It's a big organization.
Wow.
Every football game, they get together. This Dallas Cowboys football, it's a club and a slash bar. Nothing but Dallas Cowboys fans. It's almost like being at the stadium. It's amazing. They do amazing work, those gentlemen over there.
That's pretty cool. All right.
Oh,
awesome. Yeah. Well, shout out to them, SCDCFC. We'll say that 100 times. All right. Good stuff. Thank you, Orlando in California. And I think that'll do it for our show today. I don't feel like we got another caller on the line. So that's it. Good group, though. 13 calls on a Monday after the game. You guys are excited about the win, excited about Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor, and excited about where they stand here at 7-3 with Thanksgiving coming up, 3 home games in a row. We'll talk about it here on the next couple days. We've got our show tomorrow, normal schedule. I think tomorrow and Wednesday we won't have shows on Thursday and Friday the rest of this week, but up until then we'll have normal shows. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you to Chris Beam. I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline. See ya.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!